girls with miles of hobby.
Welcome back to Pat and Ken at the Holidays 2022. I'm Pat McDonald, the Uber critic.
Melikaliki Maka, Pat. That's aloha from Palatine. And I'm Ken Candela, the movie wag.
One of the greatest islands ever, Palatine, Illinois.
It is. It's an island unto itself.
All right, Ken, what's our next overview?
We're going back into another television treatment of the best Christmas pageant ever. Starring Loretta Swit.
Well, you know, the reason I was interested in this is it was first a book, kind of a very popular holiday cult book back in the 1970s. And the woman who wrote the book also wrote the teleplay. And well, we can get into it, but basically the plot is Loretta Swit plays a domestic housewife who gets roped into doing the Christmas pageant because the main person who does it has broken her leg or...
What happened?
Helen Armstrong. She got all tangled up in that long telephone cord she has, fell down some stairs and broke her leg.
But yeah, so she gets roped into putting on the Christmas pageant. And there is a family there, a ne'er-do-well family called the Herdmans.
The Herdmans. It was like they were like children right out of Oliver Twist.
Yes.
You know.
Who took my hat? Where did Gladys get my hat? Give me back my hat! Just try!
They lived in the garage. You never saw their parents. The social worker would stop by. So these kids figure out they can be in this pageant, so they come and volunteer. Do they go to school, Ken? I don't even know.
All right, let's just make room for the Herdmans.
No, I think they do because Loretta Swit's son, one of them keeps stealing his lunch and things.
Right.
Her son, by the way, you have to admit, was a he was a really rude little boy.
Hey, Leroy. You want me dessert tomorrow? You want it the next day? You can have it. I get all the dessert I want in church. We get refreshments all the time. Chocolate cake and cookies, ice cream. Oh, yeah?
His sister was a little more introspective about,
yes.
You know, she had an opinion of this family, but I think she also understood possibly why they were the way they were. I mean,
she also was breaking the fourth wall and kind of explaining stuff to us.
Now and then you'd see Mrs. Herdman walking the cat around the block on this big long chain. But she works 2 shifts at the shoe factory and isn't home much. Nobody blamed her either.
The characters are a bit flat, I thought.
Oh, well, and also too, everything was so rushed because it was only an hour. It needed to be like 90 minutes.
I think it was less than that. Yeah, when I looked at the time, I was like, wow, this is they're moving this right along.
There were some funny things in this.
There was some funny lines in this, actually. One line that really stood out for me is when Loretta Swit is talking to the parson or the minister, and he's kind of saying, you know, with these kids in the show, this is setting a bad precedent. I don't think a lot of people in town are going to want to come to this. And he says, because, you know, I've heard that
all they do is talk about sex and underwear.
I don't know.
Jesus said, suffer little children to come unto me, but I'm not sure he meant the Herdmans.
The one scene that I really particularly liked is the girl that was chosen to play Mary, which is the highest honor, obviously, in the pageant. she really at some point has an epiphany of sorts, and looking at I think it's like a watercolor of the Virgin Mary holding the baby Jesus, and she's fixated on it.
Right.
And her whole demeanor changes at that moment. But
and it was really a nice piece of acting from that child actor. There Megan Hunt played Imogene, and Shane Punt played Ollie. So that had to be funny on this set.
The show. I mean, even Loretta Swit, who was still doing MASH, I believe, at the time she did this.
Well, that was the last season of MASH.
She kind of phoned it in a little bit, I thought. She's kind of, and her husband's kind of this droning, this guy. I mean, everybody was they're eating dinner, and it's all just so monotone, and there's like really no emotion, no nothing.
I get the feeling they did this in like 10 days. But the one thing I'll say about Loretta Swit, and we brought this up last year with Ed Asner, they tried to keep their voices different from the characters they play on the sitcom. Yeah. So Loretta Swit sounded like this, nothing like Hot Lips Houlihan. I'm now an actress. I'm doing this voice.
Well, I didn't ask to run the pageant, but I got stuck with it. And I certainly didn't handpick the Herdmans, but nobody else raised their hands. And I don't think we should cancel it. I think it's going to be the best Christmas pageant ever.
And to your point that it seemed kind of rushed, then the pageant is over. Everybody leaves. The family, Loretta Swit's family, just leaves, and all of a sudden they show the Herdmans. They're all back wild, running around and everything, and
they're just free in the town. They had to establish everything really fast, and it really to the detriment of the show, I must say, Ken. So what is your Christmas bell rating for the best Christmas pageant ever?
I mean, I'd give it, maybe, if you've never seen it, I mean, if you've got some time to check it out, but I wouldn't highly recommend it. I would give it maybe 2 bells. I mean, it was
2 bells. I will go one half better than you, Ken. 2.5 bells for the best Christmas pageant ever.
I bet the book was better.
Okay. Next on Pat and Ken at the Holidays,
there's more? There's more?
Yes, there's more, Ken.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk classic Christmas movies. We were running out of classic Christmas movies, but I found one. A British movie based on a stage play called The Holly and the Ivy. Ken, you like that British stuff, don't you?
I certainly do, Pat.
That's
coming up next
on Pat and Ken at the Holidays.
There were shepherds keeping watch by night, and lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them.
Shazam!